Just after 6 o'clock Tuesday night, West Palm Beach Police received a call for somebody that stumbled across a bone in a vacant lot along the 1400 block of Sapodilla. This was a resident that was looking for a lost rooster of theirs, and while they were out going through this vacant lot, came across what looked like a bone sticking out of the dirt, kicked it, and it appeared to be a human skull. They called 911. West Palm Beach Police responded. We dispatched our crime scene investigators as well, and then the medical examiner was also notified. So there were some bones recovered, that human skull and what appears to be some human arm bones on Tuesday night. They were recovered. Wednesday morning, a team from Florida Gulf Coast University, including a forensic anthropologist, arrived on scene, and they're assisting with the investigation. So we have the West Palm Beach Police crime scene investigators, the Florida Gulf Coast University, and it's actually the Human Identity and Trauma Analysis Unit from that university. It's a very specialized unit. This is what they do. They're apparently the only unit like this in the state. So we've used them before. They're out here, and along with the medical examiner's office and the West Palm Beach Police Homicide Unit detectives are on scene. Too early to tell gender of the skeletal remains or if there was any trauma or anything like that. That'll be determined in the subsequent ongoing investigations respective to each agency, medical examiner, in collaboration with the forensic anthropologist and our homicide detectives. So that's pretty much what we have at this point. What I can also tell you is the teams will be out here throughout the day. They are searching through and digging, using hand tools to see if there are any other remains as well. So the area remains cordoned off. It's not affecting traffic. It's a vacant lot off of 14th Street in Sapodilla where this is all taking place.
Do we have any idea how long this body may have been out here for? It's
too soon to tell how long the remains have been here. It appears that they were buried, or some of the remains were buried in a shallow dirt area. But to speculate as to how long they've been here would be presumptive. So we don't know that yet. That will all be part of the subsequent investigations that are ongoing.
Buried in a shallow grave, I assume homicide is on the table?
The question was buried. Yes, the remains are buried in the dirt. Don't know if it's a shallow grave per se, whether all the remains were together or they could be scattered over an area. So this is all something that our crime scene investigators, along with the forensic anthropologists, are looking at. So they're basically identifying and marking where any potential remains are found and logging that and making a note. So we have the on-scene investigation that's going on, as well as the medical examiner doing their investigation as well.
Is there anything people in the area should know? I just spoke to at least one neighbor who said he was a little spooked.
At this point, we don't know how long the remains have been here. We will be checking any missing people that we have that could correlate to this. But again, this depends on identification of the remains and being able to correlate that with a missing person. Hopefully we would like to resolve this and find out who the person was that these remains belong to. So we're out here for the duration to conduct a thorough on-scene and the follow-up investigations.
So we can expect to see police presence in the area until this is resolved?
We will have West Palm Beach Police crime scene investigators and our detectives, as well as the forensic anthropologists out here, at least for the better part of Wednesday. It's too soon to say whether they would be out here throughout the week or not, but it depends on what they're able to recover. Okay. Thank you.
Sir,
yes?
Can you tell me the time who made the call, or when the call was made, and when you arrived, and when the persons arrived?
The initial call was received Tuesday evening, just after 6 p.m. A resident in the area was looking for their lost rooster, and while he was out looking for that lost rooster, he was walking through a vacant lot and stumbled upon what looked like a bone sticking out of the dirt. He kicked that dirt, and it revealed what appeared to be a human skull. It was, in fact, a human skull that was recovered, and there were also some arm bones that appear to be human arm bones that were also recovered. The medical examiner took those bones on Tuesday evening And we have forensic anthropologists and a team from Florida Gulf Coast University on scene, along with the West Palm Beach Police crime scene investigators. They're out here processing the scene, trying to collect more evidence and more remains if they're here. So they're very carefully going through the area. They're using hand tools to try and determine if there are more remains that are also here in the dirt somewhere or under the dirt.
So the term we heard was skeletal remains. I don't know how accurate that is. If they're skeletal, does that mean that the remains are pretty decomposed, pretty advanced in that regard?
These are skeletal remains. These are bones that were recovered. So far, we have a human skull and what appears to be human arm bones. So they are skeletal remains, but there are a number of factors that are involved with the decomposition process. So in determining how long they've been here, this will all be part of the forensic and medical examiners' investigations.
Are the remains still here, or did we retrieve them already?
The remains that were recovered Tuesday evening, the human skull and the arm bones, were taken by the Palm Beach County Medical Examiner's Office. So our teams and the teams from Florida Gulf Coast University are still on scene using hand tools to see if there are more remains to recover.
What is the timetable usually? And I imagine it would be variable, depending on any number of things. What's the timetable for identifying remains like this?
The timetable is depending on what evidence is available. For example, if there are dental records available, along with missing persons reports, that's the timetable. So our investigators are working on potential leads, and the medical examiner will work on also identifying, if they can identify the sex and gender of the remains, the potential age, and whether or not they could do a composite photo. Certainly that would be something down the road, but right now we're still in the recovery process of attempting to identify and recover any more remains that may be on the site.